The 70s was a sort of magical time for Bigfoot. Hot off the heels of the Patterson-Gimlin footage taken in the late 60s, everyone thought they would be the one to get irrefutable evidence of the elusive creature. Ivan Marx was one of those people. The Legend of Bigfoot is his findings, a documentary on the hunt for Bigfoot.
My name is Ivan Marx. The film you're about to see is authentic.
Ivan Marx is a tracker, and apparently a pretty good one. He tracks beasts all over the United States for the government, sheriff's offices, game wardens, anyone who has an animal causing problems. Marx would be able to capture it. He gets a call that something in Alaska is killing all the cattle. When he arrives, the rancher claims it's Bigfoot killing them. Marx takes a closer look and sees the grass the cattle are eating doesn't have enough protein, so the animals are dying. Marx doesn't believe in Bigfoot at this point and thinks the idea of a 7-foot, 500-pound creature in the woods is just ridiculous. He finds more evidence of a Bigfoot-like creature, from petroglyphs on ancient walls to large footprints and even a handprint in the snow. As a tracker, he's able to tell what this creature's size, weight, and stride is, and it's huge! One day, while out on a hike in the woods, he finds fresh prints in the mud and actually sees the creature heading back into the woods. He chases after it, but eventually it loses him. But this time he has some evidence. The footprints that he could now show to his friends to prove the existence of this creature. However, a convenient storm comes through and washes them all away. Now Marx feels personally responsible to find this creature. He goes all over the place. Snowy mountains, the redwood forest, and the Oregon coast. But no luck. Out of money, and feeling a bit foolish, he goes back to tracking. But he gets his big break and actually sees the creature out in the open. Really? You expect me to believe this isn't a man in a suit? If he would have said this is a recreation, okay, that's fine. But this is supposed to be his biggest and best evidence. Bigfoot captured on film. Needless to say, nobody believed him. Feeling discouraged that no one believed him, he needs to find more evidence to prove them wrong. He has a theory that Bigfoot are migratory animals and that they breed up north. So he packs everything up and heads to Alaska. One thing I need to mention here is this little compass in his car. My grandpa had one of these compasses and I miss it. I sometimes wish we didn't have digital compasses and GPS. If you want to go to Alaska, make sure you're going north. That's all you need. Marx also believes that these creatures carry their dead thousands of miles north to the ice caps to throw their bodies into the crevices. What? Why? This is one of the most ridiculous excuses as to why we don't find Bigfoot's bones. Once we get to Alaska, we get a few of the local stories, and they are certainly unique. One man tells of his dying mother. Everyone was gathered in a small cabin while she passed away. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. It was Bigfoot, but their mother's spirit was talking through him. It warned them to leave this place as a flood was coming that would wash away the cabin. Another local tells the tale of how a trapper killed the creature. The snow turned red, and the lakes turned to blood. Then suddenly, a white light on the horizon fought back the red. They say the white light is the spirit of Bigfoot fighting off its mourning brothers. Okay, that makes total sense. Marx gets a hot lead and learns a chant that he can do that will guarantee he will see Bigfoot's glowing eyes. He plays the chant, and it kind of works. He sees what looks like a car's headlights in the distance, but then he sees they're attached to a body. Come on, who's gonna believe this?
But dawn broke, and it disappeared behind a rainbow.
Eventually, Marx gets it in his head that these creatures might be herbivores and eat only grass. So he heads to a swamp, and this is where he gets the evidence he's been looking for.
I've done it.
In the distance, he sees Bigfoot. He notices the foul odor and the huge height of the creature. But this isn't any better evidence than what he claims he caught before. It's just Bigfoot on tape again. He says his theory's true, that Bigfoot are migratory creatures, that they will come to this spot every year, but if that's the case, then why haven't we caught one by now? And that's it! Irrefutable evidence from humanity's best and last tracker. Obviously, I'm not buying it. You can't tell me that all this footage wasn't just a man in a suit. And although I believe Marx had good intentions, I think in the end, you have to have a Bigfoot in your Bigfoot documentary. He also had a lot of theories that differ from what is believed today about Bigfoot. For example, he said that they only eat plants and maybe some fish, but a lot of people report seeing them hunting deer and boar. He also said that all the animals acted normal around Bigfoot, but again, a lot of reports say that the forest goes silent and all wildlife disappears. I do like Ivan Marx as the narrator and actor throughout the film. His voice is calming and confident. But finally, I have to bring up a scene involving a squirrel getting hit by a car. It's pointless, it has nothing to do with Bigfoot, so if you get to that part, just fast forward. You're not going to miss anything. The Legend of Bigfoot tried to cash in off the Bigfoot craze of its time, but it doesn't bring any new evidence to the table. I give The Legend of Bigfoot 1.5 Bigfoots disappearing behind a rainbow out of 4.
You can't believe the number of stories people had to tell. My friends laughed at them all. Okay, I'd laugh too. But things were different now.